WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. It's time for Veterans News, and Hank Whittier is at the microphone right now. Good morning, Hank.
As I sit.
Perfect timing right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good timing. Yeah, well, that's because we've been together such a long time. Hey, good morning. Glad to be here. And busy day. Got a guest, several guests. And got some casualties, too. Anybody on the phone with the...
Yes, sir. You have both agencies on the phone.
Okay.
Ashley with the Ocala Fire called in first. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, Ashley. Good to talk to you. You're a great improvement over Brian.
Oh. We all love Brian. Come on.
Nah, I saw him at his going away thing. You know, that was the best part. He was going away.
No, he had a great party and a wonderful career. So
yeah, okay. Well, listen, stick to that story, okay? That's the official story. We know better. Anyway, listen, unfortunately, the reason you called in is you do have a casualty or two, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Fortunately, we only had one this past week. And of course, it's never something that you want to hear, but
nope.
It's good to know the numbers are low. So Robert the Hawk Mayer passed away. He was a volunteer firefighter with 30 years of service, 54-year-old male. He passed on June the 8th, and he died of a medical emergency.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Union Beach Fire Department up in New Jersey. And that's all I have for you today.
Good. Hey, listen, Ashley, what do you do over there? What is your title over there?
I'm the public information officer.
Oh, great. Good. I hope you guys continue the letters to the other fire departments, when there's a casualty. I guess Brian started that off. Good.
That's correct.
Outstanding. All right, listen, tell the guys to be safe out there, okay?
Certainly will. Thank you.
All right, be good.
Bye-bye.
And you got
Terry.
Terry. Hey, Terry.
Hey, good morning, Hank.
How you doing, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You gonna meet me at the boat basin this weekend, or here?
We're gonna try take a look at the weekend. Maybe we'll get down there and see how the schedule looks.
Okay.
And,
yeah. Well, holler at me if you need.
Going on.
Yeah, if you need some more information on that stuff. So.
Yes, sir. I will.
You got a couple of real tragic ones this week. I know.
Yeah, actually we do. We got 3 of them to talk about. Obviously 2 of them that made the national media. None of them are good, but we'll start with the first one. The first one was police officer Scott Howe. Scott was with the Stockton Police Department out of California. Scott's end of watch was Wednesday, June the 11th. He was 33 years old and only had a short time with that agency, 1 year and 9 months. And in Scott's case, he was killed while responding as a backup officer to an officer involved in a felony arrest. The second 2 we have are 2 that died during the same incident, and those police officers are Igor Saldo, and Igor was with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department out of Nevada. His end watch was June the 8th. He was 31 years of age and spent 8 years and 2 months with that agency. As most people probably have already heard, he was killed with his brother officer, Alan Beck. And Alan was 41 years of age and also with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. He had 13 years and 10 months with that agency. And as most people remember, these were the 2 officers that were eating lunch and were ambushed by those 2 individuals that later were killed by other law enforcement officers. And I think one took their own life. But tragic day for us, and hopefully we'll have less next week.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, listen, I'll give you a buzz later on. I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir. Call me.
Okay, guy.
Bye-bye.
Take care. We do have military casualties as well, so someone down at that.
Yes, sir.
Robert, you got the list?
Them. Okay, DOT identifies Army casualties. First one is Specialist Terry J. Hearn, 34, Mercedes, California, died June 9th. In Afghanistan, he was assigned to the 710th Brigade Support Battalion, 3rd Brigade Combat Team, 10th Mountain Division, out of Fort Drum, New York. And others are U.S. Army Captain Jason B. Jones, out of Pennsylvania. He died in Afghanistan, was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 3rd Special Forces Group, Airborne, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And the last one I have is PFC Matthew H. Walker, Hillsboro, Missouri. Died 6'5" in Afghanistan. He was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 502nd Infantry Regiment, 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 101st Airborne Division out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. There are 5 others that were killed Monday in Afghanistan. Those names were not released.
No, they haven't released them to the site I get them from yet. So, anybody local they want to mention? Bring up? Okay. All right.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
That's what I'm saying. Amazing.
That it? Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We've been, cutting up. Anyway, listen, we gotta move along because we're going to go, about 20 minutes left. 2 comments. Just, I'm on my rampage again. Take a look at Iraq, what's happening and all the treasures and the young men and women who sacrificed. And, some people said, hey, this is what's going to happen, and it sure looks like it's going to happen. And if you didn't know, another update on our VA story, which was continuing, turns out that the VA spent over $100 million in bonuses over the last 3 years for a system that doesn't work. And our friend in Gainesville, the administrator in Gainesville, as he's trying to defend the worst record in the state of Florida in terms of backlog, got a $35,000 bonus last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. Get paid a big salary and then get a bonus for a job you're not doing.
One time my boss asked me, Harrison, when's the last time I gave you a bonus? 37 years with the intelligence community. And I said, you haven't. And he goes, that's right, and you won't.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're getting paid to do a job. You ought to be doing it well because it's the right job to do. But in addition to that, $100 million in the last 3 years on bonuses to VA staff. $35,000 for one guy last year in Gainesville, the administrator. Now, anyway, listen, we got some guests. Sergeant Henry, keep it kind of brief and move along because I want to get Bob on to talk about Seven Sisters Inn, and you got nothing to say. You're mute.
I'll be real brief.
That. I like it. And don't forget, we got Bob Wines and the commercial stuff down there.
We got it.
And we got to talk a little about the Shriners Rodeo coming up in August. We've got a couple of other things coming up on 4th of July.
4th of July, the Symphony Orchestra are going to have some tickets for veterans. And
we got a big thing on the 20th.
And the 20th, we don't forget all the troops. Everybody needs to get out there at 80th and talk about the need for that nursing home here in Ocala. So hopefully we can get troops out there at 9:30 in the morning. And let's talk about Palm Chevrolet and Bob Wines.
Chevrolet and Bob Wines?
We'll get Bob to talk about Seven Sisters. I'm not going to talk to Don Williams back here.
I don't blame you, sir, right now. Anyway, Veterans News is brought to you by Bob Wines Community Garden and Nursery at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. When it comes to landscaping, Bob Wines has what you need. Everything from small plants to large trees. Mulch fertilizer, and so much more. Bob Wines will deliver, plant, and guarantee their trees. Bob Wines Community Garden and Nursery has been keeping you blooming since 1952. Reach him at 352-629-5766. Also, it is Veterans News is brought to you by Palm Chevrolet of Ocala. Right now, General Motors has instructed Palm Chevrolet to eliminate hundreds of new Chevrolet trucks at factory invoice, zero down, and you keep the rebates. You pay less than Palm pays. Stop by Palm Chevrolet, Highway 200 in Ocala today. Their huge inventory is being marked down to the final sacrifice price. You don't want to miss the truck sale. They're located at 2300 Southwest College Road in Ocala. Their phone number, 352-629-8011.
Outstanding. Okay, listen, we got Curly. Did you have something quickly you wanted to mention?
Oh, no, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for that.
You have Don Williams here, who brought along a young man, Joe, who's attempting to join the military. Right, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Marine Corps or Army? I'm not sure. The Army's putting the full court pressure on you this morning, so.
Okay. Promises.
That's right. Don't believe all the promises.
We promise you.
Marine Corps, you sir.
Anyway, listen, congrats. Well, whatever you decide to choose, we're proud of the decision you're going to make, so thanks for doing that. And Bob's here from Seven Sisters Inn, and you got a lot of events coming up this weekend, Bob. And let me say before we begin that Seven Sisters was real good to us and helped us out at some of our big fundraisers we did and put some people up. Everybody really enjoyed staying there, and I've put some people up there in the past, and they've always enjoyed the stay. A lot of ambiance. No, he doesn't know what that means.
I may not know what that means, but I certainly know what the food is good over there.
Yeah, the cookies. Yeah. He's eating up all your profits. Every time we go over there, Don and I, he eats the cookies. There are cookies for guests, and our friend over here eats them all.
I'm on first names with the chef.
Not only the cookies, he knows his way to the refrigerator.
Yeah. And the cash register, if you haven't noticed. Yeah.
No, we keep that locked.
Well, Bob has not only regular guests that come there, but he usually has something around the house all the time.
All the time. Well, first of all, thanks for having me in. I appreciate it. I'm very proud to be here and be associated with the veterans, and we're very, very supportive of their efforts locally, and hope we can continue to do that. Just real briefly, in today's Go section in the Ocala Star-Banner, there's an article out. We're having an event on Saturday night called Masquerade of the Red Death. We're combining with the local theater, Insomniac Group, and we're doing a big 1800s Victorian masquerade in the Edgar Allan Poe type of format. So take a look at that and give me a call if you're interested for more information. What we were alluding to before is, of course, Seven Sisters Inn has a bit of a haunted history. Back in 2008, they had ghost hunters come in, and so we have very interesting things that happen in the house. It's what we would call mildly haunted. It is not a scary type of thing. I have a little story. I had a lady come in, her mother, lady from Palm Beach, very professional. She was a psychologist. She brought her mother, who was visiting from Italy, and they wanted to come up and spend the night and see what this place was. Did not say, the mom had a little bit broken English, did not say a word about ghosts or anything, so I didn't want to bring it up with these guys. I usually don't if they're not, forward about it. Well, the next morning at breakfast, the little Italian mom, probably in her late 70s or early 80s, said to me in her broken English, "I had a visitor last night." And I said, I looked at the daughter like, "What do you, did you have, people here in town or what?" And she said, "No, I woke up to a breath on my neck, and when I looked up, there was an apparition there." So I'm like, wow. And we have it at the end, she even did a sketch of this person. Yeah. And so what we do, we rely a lot on our mediums that come through, different people that we know, and also people we don't know that stop in. If you're not sensitive to the paranormal, if you don't have some psychic abilities, you're probably not going to notice a whole lot. There's some people that say they do, but mainly it's if you're sensitive to it. So sure enough, we get people to come in and verify, and so we have our standard spirits, and then we have some that apparently come in with people or visit.
Bring
so
their
it's all
own.
very interesting.
And the
I saw that sketch. It looks a lot like Sergeant Henry.
Oh boy!
Breathing on the little
Hot breath on the neck. Yeah, that's
Shame
right,
on
yeah.
you.
Shame on you.
I think that's conduct unbecoming. I could be wrong.
We may have to hire him.
There are a couple of things happening at your place. First, we don't know where it is,
Yeah.
so you might want to help us.
If you know where the downtown square is, we're right down from City Hall, and I have to say it slowly, on Fort King Street, F-O-R-T, King Street, because most people write 1-4 when I say that. If you're from City Hall, we're just a few blocks down on the right-hand side as you're heading east on Fort King, which runs parallel to Route 40, Silver Springs Boulevard. We're here all the time. We love people to stop in, take a look around, take a tour. You will not believe the place if you've not been in it. If you go to our website and see it, and then come see it, you go, wow, pictures can't do
What
this
is the
justice.
website?
It's sevensistersin.org.
Bob,
Yes, sir.
I had the opportunity to check out your little new addition to your Seven Sisters bed and breakfast. It was like a little trolley car. Can you talk a little
Yeah, I
about that?
can talk a little bit about that. We had an interesting, we wanted to have a concept of being able to take people to and from the inn. If you drive down Fort King from downtown, where, you know, all the restaurants in the square and all that stuff are, it's about a little less than a half a mile. It's a little bit of a hike. Going down's not bad. If you're staying at the inn, you want to walk downtown. But coming back with a go box and you're full from dinner, it's kind of a long way. So we were trying to figure out how to do like a golf cart or something. And my wife found this thing on the internet, and we have invested in it. It looks like a San Francisco trolley car. And it's got room for 8 people, actually 9 if you count the person sitting next to the driver. And it was used originally in Texas. It was built for a guy who had a ministry out there, and he had a place called Bible Land. And this was for kids. They would shuttle them around the property and do their teaching and that type of thing. It ended up going to a company outside of Dallas that had a horse carriage business, where they just, had a big operation over there, and they added that to their fleet so it wouldn't have. It was the only non-horse-drawn thing they had. Well, now they've decided to sell out the business, and they delivered it from Texas just the other day. So we've got to do a number of things to get it street legal. But I had done my homework and checked with Department of Motor Vehicles and the city, and everything's cool. So once we get that up and running, I'm sure you'll see information on it. We're going to flood the. It's going to take a little while to get running, and I think I'm going to go. I don't know if people, even with their seatbelts on, going around corners real fast, are going to feel safe. So I'm going to put Don Harrison in that position and squeal around a couple corners and see how that works.
See if he falls out or not.
He just wants to see how fast you can push the threshold, and then I get the ticket.
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
I'll tell you, my guys that came in from Boston that stayed there had a fantastic time. They're still talking about it, and that was last October. But they didn't see any ghosts.
Well,
They were let down on that.
we'll stir them up next time.
How many rooms are over? How many rooms do you have there?
We have 5 rooms. There's 1 downstairs and 4 upstairs. For those of you who have been around Ocala a long time, they used to have the original inn, which is now an office building, and then the part that we're in, which is the more colorful of the 2 buildings. And when everything folded on them in 2008, everything sat empty till about, I think, May of 2012. We got in, had to refurnish the whole place and redo it. And we got open in October of 2012. So come this October, we'll have our 2-year anniversary. So everything's the second time around now. It's going into our second summer. And we're very, very pleased to be part part of the community, try to help out with the veterans and whatever else we can do, and provide entertainment and that type of thing. And really a great place to stay if you have people coming into town. So, and any veterans that want to stay, give me a call. It's 433-0700. We have special discounts for military and active police duty and that type of thing. So just please give us a call. We'll work with you.
And that website again was what?
It's spell the word 7 out, 7sistersin.org, O-R-G. And or just Google the word 7 Sisters Inn. Check out our reviews. We're doing very well with the reviews. And just want to become a bigger part of the community as we grow here. So.
Yeah, it's an interesting building, interesting people over there. I haven't seen any apparitions other than Dawn.
In the refrigerator.
At the refrigerator.
Yes, I have to rub my eyes and go, is that an apparition or is that Dawn eating my cookies again?
Or anything else that you can get.
Wiping the grease from his lips.
It really is. You know, you can for the same amount of money rather than putting them up at a chain or something. And that, as I said, we've had, folks that wanted to see what Ocala was all about. Stay there, and really they've all enjoyed it. So, and I know those guys that came down from New England really enjoyed it last year. So, it's an interesting spot, and it's a bed and breakfast. So there's a food involved, and
there's mainly the breakfast, and then cookies if Don leaves any, and then we have different things available to people. We provide bottled water and soda, and even beer for the people that are staying at complimentary. So. We try to make it as much be a homey experience as possible, and the fact that we're so close to downtown and to all the different things that go on in Ocala as far as the horse.
You're in the historic area.
The historic area behind us. It's a great place.
It's a good walk. Actually, the walk ought to be. You ought to walk from the restaurants to come back to burn it off a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah. Now the Edgar Allan Poe Festival is
this Saturday, and it runs from 8 to 11. It's going to be amazing. We just gave this thing a try. Chad from over at the Insomniac Theater is going to have each of our rooms is going to have a scene from an Edgar Allan Poe story. The event itself is built around the Masquerade of the Red Death, and there's going to be jugglers and acrobats and all this stuff like you would see in an 1800s masquerade. And if you check the website out again, there's a little video in there. There's some promos and today's paper. And feel free to call me. I'll give you all the information I can.
Outstanding. Very good. Well, take a look at Seven Sisters Inn. It's interesting. It's reasonable. Good people. It's certainly worth and again, you have folks just coming in and looking around. I saw some folks in there the other day just checking it out. Besides Dawn, so it's an interesting old place. How old is that building?
The building itself was built in 1890. Wow. And for those of you again who have been around Ocala for a long time, the name of the house or what the historic group has. Referred to it as is the Reinauer House. So if you've been around Ocala a long time, you know that the Reinauers had stores. Right. The original one was next to Harry's down on the square. Yep. And the last one to close was down, there's a consignment store on Silver Springs Boulevard down from Staples at the end of that plaza. That was the last Reinauer store to stay open. Right. And we have a couple Reinauers floating around too that make visits to people.
All right, very good. Again,
they're still with the house.
And they don't have to pay extra for those kind of
we don't
guests,
charge
right?
them.
Okay,
we don't charge them.
Hey, listen, as you can see, we're getting ready to run out of time here any second now. So talk a little bit about you don't put your
Chevrolet.
We have
4th of July. Go ahead.
30 seconds.
You got 30 seconds.
4th of July at the top of the world. The veterans are going to have a section there. Hank Whittier will have tickets. Anybody that's interested, you can wear your affiliations uniforms. They would love to see you in uniform. Be there. They're going to have fireworks after. Everything's Independence Day, military songs, marching songs.
And that's right. It's going to be a fun time. And then the 20th, as I say, is our chance to impress those folks from the selection committee about why that nursing home needs to be here in Ocala. That's going to be out there on 80th and 80th.
How about your paintball thing? Is that still going?
Well, that 22nd, they're doing a paintball, but it's a little different. But I think what they're saying is people can come in free, but they're looking for a donation. So Wayne's World on 441. And there's a lot of good things going on, and they want to thank Palm Chevrolet and Bob Wines and The Source and As I tell you every week, appreciate your service, and God bless America, everybody.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hi, Robin. You look tired.
I am. I've been running all over town.
Why? Why not drive?
I need to get the stupid document notarized.
Well, that's easy. You need personal service.
Duh. That's what I've been looking for.
You need to go see Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can notarize that for you, make copies, fax it wherever, or send it out in the mail. Heck, he can even scan it and email it for you.
Really? Where is he at?
2375 Northeast 25th Avenue, on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street. You can call him at 789-6